Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here, and it's good to be back. I've been gone the last couple of days doing a tile bathroom shower for an elderly lady over on the richer side of town, and I was with Spirit Talker, and we had Monday was a real easy day. I did a little short video showing you we didn't do a whole lot, but yesterday we busted butt and we got everything tore out. And his wife, Spirit Talker's wife, is my cousin, and she's having some stents put in her arteries today, so we're not going to be working today or tomorrow, which gives me a chance to do a little video and to socialize with all my friends here on YouTube. I've missed not being here, and I'm glad to be back. I want to thank my subscribers. I've had a really rough road the last few days. I was growing really fast there for a couple of weeks, and then in the last several days my numbers have been fluctuating between 811 and 796. I'll gain 14 and lose 10, or I gain 5 and I lose 3. I don't understand it. It may be trolls. They don't like us Patriot channels to begin with, and it could be YouTube. I really don't know what the situation is, but it's been very frustrating for me. I've been to 800 like 6 times this week. I'll get over 800 and then I'll fall behind, so I don't know what the deal is with YouTube, but I'm just going to keep on doing what I do, and it'll all work out in the end, I'm sure. Probably for YouTube though, not for me or for any of you. But I want to thank my subs for subscribing. I want to ask you to watch a video, leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I go live or I do a video. My PayPal information is in the link below, and I would definitely like to thank a couple of people, and that's going to be 12B Georgia and the Great Dirtbag. The Great Dirtbag and 12B Georgia made very kind donations to my PayPal account this week, and I'm very grateful to both of you. As y'all know, Michelle and I at Forbidden Information are trying to get funds together to go to D.C. and have a pro-life conference with some congressmen and senators and other people in power there in D.C. We're hoping to go sometime in September. It just depends on how the funds are. Both of us being on fixed incomes, it's difficult to save, but we're both trying to save all we can, and we're hoping that some of our supporters will be kind enough to donate and help us get to DC so we can be a part of this pro-life conference. So my PayPal information will be in the link below if you'd like to contribute. I'll tell you people, over the weekend there was some really crazy stuff going down in Oregon, and as we all know, Oregon is liberal as any state can be, especially the Portland, Oregon. It seems Portland is just nothing but a city of thugs. Over the weekend, an elderly man was brutally beaten by Antifa punks and thugs with baseball bats. And this was in downtown Portland, Oregon. Another man came to his aid, but sorry to say, he was cracked over the head with a crowbar. So here these Antifa people show up with baseball bats and crowbars. Well, I'm going to get to it in just a minute, but there's other things that they did as well. I can't say this guy's name, so I'm just going to call him Andy Go. It's spelled N-G-O. I don't speak Asian, so I don't know how that's pronounced. But anyway, I'm going to call him Andy. Just down the street, Andy was attacked by more of these Antifa savages. Andy is a journalist who was beaten and sprayed with a milkshake laced with quick-drying cement and caustic chemicals. Andy was attacked in front of this, get now people, in front of the Oregon Justice Center, which houses the police department. But no policemen were anywhere near these gruesome attacks. I believe there was a stand-down order given to the police, because all they did was stand by and watch as these men were being beaten by these Antifa thugs. The police did absolutely nothing. And when Andy got away from his attackers, he found policemen on down the street somewhere far away from all of the action. And they told him that in order to go to the hospital, he had to go 2 or 3 blocks on foot to the police department, and an ambulance would pick him up there. But in order to do this, this meant that Andy had to walk right back past the same men in masks with baseball bats were standing, waiting. If he had went back to the police precinct to wait for an ambulance, can you get that, people? You got to walk 2 or 3 blocks before you can get an emergency ambulance. This is totally stupid, people. This was definitely a stand-down order given by the mayor of Portland. These cops did absolutely nothing to render him aid or to help him get to a hospital. They did absolutely nothing for this man who had just been savagely beaten. I'll post some pictures of him and you can see for yourself. You know, the mayor of Portland denied giving such a stand-down order, but I'm convinced this weak coward did make the call to stand down. And people, I don't understand why, other than the simple fact he supports Antifa. Why is it that every time there's an Antifa gathering or a pro-life gathering or anything conservative or Republican, these Antifa punks show up and they're allowed to do anything that they want to do without fear of the police? Why do they get to wear a mask? You know, back in the 70s, I think it was, the KKK were wearing masks. Well, they were wearing masks all through history. But I mean, in the 70s, I think it was in the 70s that a law was passed that they could not wear their mask in public. They could wear their hoods, but the mask had to be lifted off of their face. And the reason they passed that law was just so they would know who these KK people were. They could identify them if they could see their face. And people say, why? Why is Antifa given a free walk on this law? Every one of them that has a bandana or a mask across their face is breaking law. Every one of them should be arrested simply for wearing these masks in public. Never mind the crowbars and the caustic chemical milkshakes and the baseball bats. People, Antifa is pure Democrat inside and out. They're supported by these demons. I just don't understand these demon rats. But they want to do anything they can to hurt or harm American patriots. And they only do it when there's a gang of them against one. Sometimes a larger gang might attack 2 or 3 at one time. But normally they single people out. And there's dozens of them standing there with these baseball bats. And one man has to face all of them. Because the police does absolutely nothing to protect the American citizens from these thugs. People, this is probably going to be a long video. I didn't plan it this way, but that's just the way it's going to be, I guess. You know, Senator Ted Cruz said charges should be brought against the mayor of Portland. Cruz said that the mayor had political reasons for ordering his police officers to let the citizens be attacked and beaten by these domestic terrorists. In June, the Portland mayor said he will not let the Portland police be sucked into a conflict. Now, wait a minute. I thought one of the jobs of the police department was to get involved in these conflicts and bring it to a quick end and arrest those who were breaking the law. But according to this mayor, oh, we don't want to get our police sucked into a conflict. People, this is liberalism 101. These Antifa thugs are nothing but a new version of the KKK, and their masks prove it, along with their actions. I don't know how they get away with it. I guess because they're protected by the demon rats. Just like this mayor. This premeditated attack on Andy was because Andy is gay, he's Asian, and he's a conservative. And Andy was known to these Antifa thugs because he had been there reporting on this before. So they knew what they were doing and who he was. You know, a few good people in Oregon should be warned. Because there's only a few good people in Oregon, people. But they need to be warned that there is total anarchy in the streets of Portland. Portland, it is not safe for you and your families to do business or to visit that city. Take this as a fair warning. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a dire warning to stay away from Portland if you're a conservative. I want to jump to another topic right now. I want to talk a little bit about the state of Maine. And I'm so tired of the state of Maine. They've been in the abortion news a lot lately. But Maine and New York and Vermont, Illinois, and Rhode Island are passing laws that require Medicaid to cover abortions and allows physicians' assistants and nurses to perform aspiration abortion procedures. People, I've mentioned this the other day. These states are going to allow non-doctors to perform aspiration abortions. People, this makes absolutely no sense. What is it? We can't get enough doctors to sign on to kill and murder these preborn children? So now we're going to let nurses and physicians' assistants do it. People, this is a recipe for destruction. I venture to say that though these PAs and nurses might receive some training, I doubt very seriously if they are experienced enough to do these kind of procedures without a licensed physician being on staff. In case there is a medical emergency that a nurse cannot handle. And there are a lot of medical emergencies that a nurse cannot handle. If she could handle all medical emergencies, then she would be a doctor. Plain and simple, people. They're putting inexperienced people into these abortion centers simply so they can do more abortions. And that's what they're all about. More abortion, more abortion, more abortion. So we don't have enough doctors, so let's let nurses do this. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been in the hospital a lot of times. I've had 3 heart attacks, and I've had a lot of nurses try to start an IV on me, and I've got veins like water hoses. There should absolutely be no reason why these nurses can't hit my vein the very first time. But people, routinely, every time I have to go to the doctor or to the hospital and they draw blood, they have to get another nurse to come in there and do it because I refuse to let any nurse stick me more than twice. If you're going to sit there and stick me 3 or 4 times and miss my veins and drive that needle into my muscles and into the soft tissue, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to knock the holy crap out of you, and I've come awful close to it before. I have told nurses to, as I jerked my arm away and yanked the needle out of my arm while they were poking, prodding, trying to hit a vein that's as big as a water hose, I told them to get the hell out of my room and send me somebody in there that knew what they were doing. And that's the people we're going to have giving these abortions. Because I'm going to tell you, people, there's no nurse in her right mind would want to become an abortionist unless she's a demon and evil to her soul. And I don't care who hears this, and I don't care who don't like it. I stand for our preborn children. I stand for our trafficked and our exploited children. All children. I speak for all children because they have no voice. You know, Maine supporters of abortion rights for women have hailed the new abortion legislation as a great big win. This will be the single most important event, say the Democrats, since the passing of R. V. Wade. My, people. Like I said, under the new law, physicians, assistants, and nurses can perform these abortions And get this, in that same law, Medicaid. People, Medicaid will be paying for these abortions. These states have denied the Hyde Amendment, and they've went against federal law because Medicaid is mainly covered by state funds. The state says they're going to pay for these abortions for these women who just can't afford one. You know, Medicaid is for a lot of times brought into a call when poor pregnant women are giving birth, and Medicaid a lot of times will step in and help with the birthing of this child. But now they're wanting Medicaid to also pay for the death of these children. People, it's sick. It's totally sick. You know, abortions for low-income women should be funded by supporters of abortion. They were to be setting up GoFundMe pages, you know, and those idiots and those demon rats, those soulless people in America can donate to this and let those people have their abortions paid for by the abortionist. Makes sense to me. They want to do it, let them pay for it. And you know, using non-doctors to perform these abortions on babies, it's very risky. And it puts a woman's health at a great risk. Why can't we pro-lifers bring lawsuits about these kind of laws, the way that the Planned Parenthood and the ACLU and all these organizations, every time we pass a law, I mean, they never go into effect because there's a lawsuit filed immediately. And you know that the lower courts are going to stand against anything that's pro-life. So they're going to knock these laws down, and the Supreme Court's going to sit on their hands and do nothing. So why can't we file lawsuits stopping these kind of stupid laws from coming into effect? I pray somebody in the Republican Party, some true conservative or patriot, I pray that some organization or somebody will bring a lawsuit against these states and stop these new abortion laws that just open doors for these women to be harmed at the hands of a nurse performing an abortion. Makes no sense. People, I'm going to jump off of that for just a minute. I want to talk a little bit about our favorite Muslim, Ilhan Omar. You know, she was delighted when one of Hillary Rotten Clinton's top aides went to attack President Trump yesterday. I can't say this guy's name either, so I'm going to call him Peter. Peter Dowell, something like that, said that under President Trump, get this, we as a country have endured a variety of conditions that many thought would never happen in the United States of America. Peter leads the left-wing group Share Blue, and he has been a true critic of President Trump even before he went into office. This Peter Dowell is a complete idiot. He's crazy out of his mind. I mean, this is what this stupid idiot liar had to say about America under Trump. It's a little bit of a list, but bear with me. I'm going to try to get out of here in just a couple minutes. Anyone who thinks that it can't happen here, it has happened here. He's talking about, we have concentration camps in America now. Okay. Where? Where are they? Oh, I know what you're doing. The holding facilities at the southern border are concentration camps in the eyes of the demon rats. We have military parades. Wow. You know, I think we've always had military parades on Memorial Day and sometimes on the 4th of July. Shoot, yeah. I'm proud of our military. They deserve to have a parade. I love it when I see them marching down the street in lockstep. I love to see their discipline. People, there's nothing wrong with having a military parade. It's not like we're doing like Korea, North Korea, and all these other countries do. We don't put, 100 trucks with 50 different kinds of missiles and rockets going down the street. Our military parades are patriotic, not warlike. So I don't see a problem with a military parade. It makes me proud to be an American when I see these men and women. The United States is nothing but a propaganda network for Trump. Women's health is criminalized. The rule of law is suspended. Okay, I can tell you where the rule of law is suspended, and it's not on the normal streets of America. The law is suspended in towns like Portland, when they tell the police department to stand down and do nothing in the face of violence and injuries. They're to do nothing. That's where it's at, people. And it says the courts are stacked with extremists from the far right. Okay, Trump's been able to put a few judges on the bench, but extremists? Do you see how they label us, people? Nepotism on the international stage. Yeah. Guilty, Trump. Yeah, he's got his daughter and his son and his son-in-law helping him. But people, nepotism is nothing. If the person is qualified, they're qualified. It shouldn't matter who they're related to as long as they're qualified to do the job. It says that the media has been attacked by Trump as the enemy of the people. And that's definitely true. And I'm proud to say that I stand with our president. It says relentless assaults on truth and reality. That we as conservatives do not know what truth is, and we live in an altered state. We just don't realize what reality is, or for him, what it should be in America. It says we're using terrorism against marginalized people. I guess he's talking about the immigrants again. People, we're not using terrorism. We're trying to protect our country and our southern border and stop these gangs and child traffickers and those who would harm our American citizens. That's where they're at. It's not terrorism, people. It's trying to protect this country. They say that brutality by the police is rampant in America, and the police never face any consequences. It says that we're having raging rallies for Trump. Well, yeah, we are. We support our president. You demon rats can't get 200 people at a rally, but Trump gets 50,000 or more just because they want to be in the presence of this wonderful man that we call President Trump. And he says conservatives chant prison for political opponents. Well, yes, we do. Lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. I pray for that day to come. Don't know if it ever will. But yeah, we shout lock her up at our rallies, and we're proud of it because she deserves to be locked up. And because of President Trump, there is rampant voter fraud in America. Well, the American people know that all this voter fraud and Russian collusion and everything else is something that's done by the demon rats, such as Hillary Clinton. You know, this Dowell's words echoed Ilhan Omar's criticism of the Republican leadership, accusing Trump of killing children on the southern border. Can you believe that? Now, Trump is a murderer of children on the southern border. I guess that we're we have gas chambers set up or firing squads, and we're just killing these people on the border, according to this idiot. Well, you know he's an idiot because he's an aide of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Well, Omar has branded herself as Trump's biggest nemesis because she is a nightmare for the White House. People, I don't believe that our president is worried about this socialist, terrorist, Muslim from Minnesota. I don't think he's worried about her one bit. I wish she'd run for president. I really do. She said, this is a president who has come to power and demonizes all immigrants and refugees. So I guess people, if you're a Republican or a conservative or a patriot, we're terrorists. We're mean. We're evil. We have concentration camps where we keep children. He says we're murdering these kids. No, it's you abortionists that are killing kids. Plain and simple, people. You can't be racist and be pro-life. Everything that idiot aide of Hillary Rodham Clinton that said these words that I just put in this report has no idea what reality is or even what country he's in. We are not the Socialist States of America. We are the United States of America. And we as patriots intend to keep it that way. People, I've went a little longer than I meant to, but I had the information to get out, so hope you bared with me. And I'm going to get out of here. Pray for our children. Pray for the exploited and the trafficked and the abused and the aborted and the preborn. Pray for them. Pray for each other. Pray for me and Michelle. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.